The new parts have arrived from the factory without issue. They'll be fitted to the car in time for the next session.
What is going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, back to the 15th round of the Mick Schumacher career mode. We're here for the Singapore Grand Prix, and straight in with some good news. We've got some aero and some chassis upgrades to the car, which will have to be corrected for next season, so we're going to have to redevelop them almost, spend more R&D points and getting them into the next year's regulations. So at the moment we're currently ahead of McLaren again. We've re-overtaken them, but at that top, from 4th place to McLaren, it's really bunched up now. So we don't really know coming into the weekend who's going to be the better car around the circuit. Obviously Haas looking good, Renault and ourselves and McLaren all quite close together at this stage. So we head into qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix. We're not expecting too much around here because obviously chassis and aero are key around here. Engine is where we are the strongest. But coming on to our lap, we're currently P14 at this stage with Vettel on pole. So Ferrari looking strong around here. Ourselves, we're currently P14, so we're around the midfields, coming now onto our best lap so far. This is what it's going to be. But coming now is a difficult section, or difficult track for me on my main career mode, or my off-channel career mode, or off-camera career mode. But I wasn't really expecting too much coming into this weekend. Not the most confident around this sort of track. As you can see, I wasn't too confident around Monaco, but at this stage we've had a few upgrades to the car and we're looking fairly sharp. So coming towards the end of this, the end of this little Singapore sling, it's a nice tight and twisty section of the track. It's very easy to get it wrong and put it into the barrier here. So it's obviously, as you can see, I brake very early for a lot of these corners. So we're now down to P17 at this stage. So we're heading towards the back of the grid at this stage. So the lap time that we've put in isn't the best. And then we're dropping even further down all the order into P18. So we're just hoping to get a good lap here. And this feels like a much better lap. In fact, we haven't actually set a lap at all at this stage. But hoping to get a good lap time in, because we're just hoping to get as high up on the grid as possible. Our qualifying has been really good for us so far this season. So if we can get good qualifying here, that'll put us in a good position for the race tomorrow. As we cross the line, and it's P6 at this stage, we're ahead of our teammate Leclerc, so we're happy with that, and we decided to retire at this session there. And the grid is almost set, and we're P12 in the end, so P12 isn't too bad for us. Our teammate's in P7, so he's best of the rest. So that is really good for the Sauber team at this stage in the season, being best of the rest. It's a shame we couldn't be further up the grid. Stoffel Van Dorn further down the grid though for the McLaren team, so McLaren got one car up there, one car further down. But obviously our main rival is with the Haas team at the moment. So we got Grosjean and Magnussen around the midfield, around 11th and 14th. So that's the one to look out for. But coming on the end of qualifying, we decide to get new components for all our engine. So we're going to be starting the race from the back of the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix. Bit of a setback, but I think it was tactical, and decided that it was probably best for this track, because it's not our strongest track, and we don't want to have penalties for tracks that are strong. So if we do well in Russia or Japan or Brazil, and we have to take penalties on the grid when we're starting like P7, then it would be disaster for us. But now we move on into the race for the Singapore Grand Prix. What can it be? We're starting from the back of the grid, so we've got a mountain to climb in this race. So who knows what we can do? Anything can happen here. There's a lot of incidents that happened in the Singapore Grand Prix. A big chance for safety cars here at the, of course, been one in almost every year, I think, apart from 2018. I might not be correct about that, but we now move on to the grid for the race. We've got Daniel Ricciardo on pole, so Red Bull obviously looking strong around here. Vettel, after his win in Italy, is P2. Ferrari looking good. Red Bull looking good. Mercedes not looking too good. Where are Mercedes 2? Verstappen 3rd. Leclerc starting 5th, so even better for our team. Magnussen down in 9th. Hamilton starting 10th, so McLaren have got some penalties as well. Bottas is down in 13th, so McLaren bringing penalties to this race. Perez has got a penalty. Good news for us is Grosjean's also taking a penalty. So we're starting there in P20. The Williams just ahead of us, so what can it be then for the Singapore Grand Prix? Set out onto the track then. We head on to those 5 red lights to start the race. All the race, and it's lights out and away we go. It's a fairly sluggish start, but the good news for us is that we can't lose any positions, so we're already P20, and we dive into turn 1, and make plenty of positions there. We were side by side with Sergio Perez, so we've gained 4 positions already. The Perez and both the Williamses and Roman Grosjean, which is important for us. Now we're looking to make a move on Van Dorn and Brendan Hartley. We'll make a little bit of contact with Van Dorn, a little bit of rivalry between ourselves and Van Dorn for what he did to us in Belgium. But now then, with P14, after just a few corners, and Van Dorn's now looking to make a move back down the inside, but we're saying no, we're closing the door. We're looking forward now, and we dive down the inside of Pierre Gasly as all the cars bunch up, and you can spot your chance to overtake them. And we do overtake Pierre Gasly. There's a little battle going on in front of us, so now we're looking to make another position. We're looking to close in on Valtteri Bottas and making a move on the Mercedes, almost running into the back of Esteban Ocon there, but we just avoid him, and it looks to be Carlos Sainz and Kevin Magnussen battling with Lewis Hamilton there as well. What can we do here? We'd look to make a move down the inside of Esteban Ocon as well. So now we've got up to P11. There's 9 positions gained on just the first lap alone. Great first lap for us then. We've gone from P20 to P11, and it was a good decision then to take that penalty. But to be honest, we could have been higher up if we didn't take that penalty. But we've got fresh components, so we're going to be fairly quick with all our parts. Not going to be down on power, even though power is not too important around here. But as we come around to end the first lap, then we're in P11. Hamilton's in P10. Next target then, and Kevin Magnussen as well. Our teammate looks to have had a good start. Daniel Ricciardo leading after the first lap. Good news for him. But we're cutting the last corner a bit there. We come around the first lap and we're P11. So we're going to have a look then at the replay of the first lap. Of course, starting from P20. This is our lowest starting position we've had all season. I don't think we've started last yet. We get around the first couple of corners nice and tidy, not losing the front wing, getting past Sergio Perez, who's Force India probably wouldn't be too strong around here because their best part is the aero and the best part is the engine, sorry. But we get past Van Dorn and we're side by side. Well, we're not side by side, he's side by side with Sergio Perez, but he's looking to get alongside us as he looks down the inside. But we say no, we decide to close the door, and he's too far back and he doesn't make the move past us. We look to make the move down the inside of Pierre Gasly and do manage to get past him nice and comfortably. We now look on to Valtteri Bottas as Kevin Magnussen and Carlos Sainz going side by side towards the next corner, and they're slowing everyone down, which allows us to get past Valtteri Bottas, closing in, and now Esteban Ocon's the next target as we head into the next corner where Massa made a hell of a move on Senna a few years ago, and we just get down the inside of Esteban Ocon nicely up to 11th place. Now it's the end of lap 1 pretty much. Couldn't make any more positions. That would have been awesome if we could have made it into the points straight from last place. But it is what it is, and we're happy with P11 after the first lap. As we now, our next target is Lewis Hamilton. We can then move on to lap 2, the end of lap 2. Moving on to lap 3. Again, we're still behind Lewis Hamilton at this stage. Kevin Magnussen and Carlos Sainz ahead of them. They're on the ultra soft. We're currently on hyper soft, myself and Hamilton. So Magnussen and Sainz are going to be pitting much later than us in this race. And it's a long race, despite only being 25%. It's going to be a half an hour race, this is. So we're behind Hamilton. We somehow exceed track limits there. I wasn't really quite sure how that is. We're looking to get DRS and past Hamilton, but it's not easy to overtake on this circuit, because if Hamilton's got DRS and we got DRS, we're just going to be going the same speed, but well, got the same advantage. But then we close in on Hamilton, who's Carlos Sainz is starting to hold ourselves and Magnussen, and Hamilton takes a weird line, goes on the inside, and that's a very poor line to take into that corner. We can get past him nice and easily, and Hamilton is now down to P11, and we're both Mercedes out of the points. This is going to be a really difficult weekend for the Mercedes team, as penalties have really played a part in this race. It should help Raikkonen and Vettel in a championship challenge with Lewis Hamilton. But P10, and Hamilton, is he going to look back at getting back past us? We've turned down the ERS. Hamilton's probably got it back up, trying to get the way back past us. We close the door and say no chance of coming through there, mate. And here is the replay of what happened. Hamilton taking the inside line, going into this right-hander or left-hander, and we just managed to cut back underneath him, and it's just a really poor line that Hamilton took into that corner, and we just took advantage of it. We're up into P10, we're up into the points, hoping to get some more points, get some consistent run of points now, because we are a little bit behind the Haas team after what happened in Italy with Leclerc going off the track when we both could have scored points, and Bottas obviously also cost us points in Italy. So Haas is our rivals then, we're now on lap 4. We've got Carlos Sainz, Kevin Magnussen ahead of us. So we need to get past these guys. We need to get past Kevin Magnussen. Good news for us though is Leclerc is running in P5 at this stage. So he's best of the rest pretty much because it's only the Ferraris and Red Bulls ahead of him. So Leclerc in P5, which is bringing 10 points for Sauber at the moment, which is adding to my 1 point, which makes it 11 points to Haas's 2 points. Haas a long way ahead of us at this stage because Magnussen's been scoring in the last race and Grosjean's been consistently scoring all season. So with Grosjean down the order, it's looking pretty good for Sauber to get some points today. But with being held up by Carlos Sainz and Kevin Magnussen, not really being able to get past these guys. So tyres, of course, if you played this game yourself and you've been playing and driving around Singapore, you know that the hypersofts tend to like go to chaos temperatures, and you just have no grip. And we were running out of grip at this stage as well. So we're going to try and make the undercut on those guys, and we should hopefully get out in front of them. So we go on to fresh ultra softs, which is what they're on already. We should be able to move ahead of them, but they'll be on hyper softs when it comes to their pit stops. So obviously we're going to have to watch out for that later in the race. But now then, we're in P20 and we've come out on with some fresh tracks ahead of us. So hopefully we can get some good sector times in and hopefully perform a nice undercut and close in on the cars ahead of them as well. But now then, we're on lap 6 and it's P18 and Alonso's just come out of the pits ahead of us, and he's now just, there's yellow flags and he's slowing down. So Alonso, a good chance to get points there for McLaren. He's had to slow down and it's now out of the race. So Alonso out of the race. We're down in P17 and Bottas has made his pit stop as well. So not many teams have made their pit stops yet, but Hülkenberg has, and he's now our next target ahead of us. But complete disaster for Alonso. No safety car, unfortunately, which would have played with the order a bit. But P17 as we come round the next corner, and there's going to be a lot of cars in the pits. So where can we end up here? Where you've got Hamilton has come out of the pits. We're still ahead of Hamilton. That's good news for us, but we might have to watch out for Hamilton, obviously being the Mercedes car. And look, there's Brendan Hartley fighting with Nico Hülkenberg as well. So we're going to close in on those guys and hopefully close in on Hülkenberg as well, who's a nice little challenge for us. We could compete with the Renaults at this race by the looks of it, with Leclerc in P5. But there's also problems up ahead as well. There's yellow flags up ahead. We don't know what that is for. But it turns out it's Sebastian Vettel going slowly again. So Sebastian Vettel having no luck in his career mode in the last few races apart from Italy, but Vettel going slow. And Vettel looks to be really in trouble there. So that will move my teammate up though, which is great news for us. So we've got a P4 at least here, I think, if Leclerc is in the position that he's still in. But now then, we're closing in on Brendan Hartley, who's on older tyres. And can we make a move down the inside? Yes, we can. This is one of our favourite overtaking places at the moment. We get down the inside and nicely past Brendan Hartley. Nice clean overtake. But now then, catching up with Nico Hülkenberg, who has been held up by Stoffel Van Dorn. So we're looking to close in on Hülkenberg, and Van Dorn having a really poor season. Been pretty much how he was in real life in the 2018 season. His AI is far slower than his teammate Alonso's. But now then, coming around the last corner, start lap 9, we're right behind Nico Hülkenberg and right behind Stoffel Van Dorn. And we're going to be looking to make the overtake down into turn 1. Hülkenberg gets alongside Van Dorn. We now get past Van Dorn. Almost think about making it past Hülkenberg, but don't quite have the braking into turn 1 to get past or alongside him. Hülkenberg keeps the position at this stage. So now we're going to be looking to get past him, and it's a glitch with the screen. So I'll be talking it through from here. Hülkenberg does end up losing a position to us. We do get past Nico Hülkenberg in the end, but that is us up into P7, I think, at this stage. So we're ahead of Hülkenberg. We've got 2 Mercedes ahead of us, and there it is. We passed Hülkenberg, so big apologies for that. We've managed to get past Hülkenberg at this stage. So we've got Mercedes trying to get past him as well with Bottas, I think it is, or Hamilton. But looking good for us at this stage. Made a lot of positions through the pit stops and gaining a few more then. But now coming on to lap 11. We're in P9 and we're looking to get past Kevin Magnussen. Remember, we were fighting with him earlier in this race. We do just about get past Magnussen. We were hoping to be a little bit further ahead than that, but we just haven't been able to gain as much time as we had hoped. And Carlos Sainz is ahead of us, so we could not get past Carlos Sainz either. But Sergei Sorokin then in front of us. With he's on old tyres, so he's going to be very slowly. He's been on his ultra softs for 11 laps now, so we're going to be held up by Sergei Sorokin. So Sainz is pretty much out the window with the amount of laps that we've got left in this race. But Magnussen then on ultra soft tyres is going to be really looking to get back past us. We come towards the end of this race. Sorokin then really slowly, and we're thinking about trying to make an overtake, but we don't want to lose any of our front wing at this stage, and we're just not going to risk it. And we just keep our front wing, keep our position in P8. And again, I have to apologise for the upload studio. It's just sometimes it's really inconsistent. It's just frustrating when you can't get all the clips and everything going the right way, and sometimes you lose sound, and sometimes it just loses the even the tape as well. So hopefully we can iron out these mistakes as we go along, but big apologies for that. As we now then move on to the end of this lap, Sergei Sorokin in front of us is looking to pit now, so he comes into the pits. Now we've got Kevin Magnussen really on the back of us, and he's looking to make a move past us, and he goes to look down the inside, but we go to defend, and he hits the back of us, loses a bit of front wing. I don't really think that was our fault. We just looked to defend, and he looked to overtake, and we defended at the right time. I don't think we blocked him or anything, so I don't really know what Magnussen was doing there. He just hit the back of us and loses a chunk of his front wing, so that will help us a little bit in defending from him. We might be able to get away from Magnussen now then. We're coming towards the main overtaking spot on this track. He's looking to the outside. We keep it on the inside. We just give him as little room as possible. We keep the position at this stage, and we got a huge train of cars behind us as well, because we are running out of pace as well, because the ultra softs are starting to go off a bit because of the way the tyres overheat on here. Although I think it has been better since the patch. But Magnussen then looking to the outside, doesn't get past into that corner either. But yeah, the tyre, I think it has been the 1.16 patch that's helped improve tyres overheating because of frame rate or something like that. It's a bit bizarre why that happened, but in the first place, but it is what it is. And Magnussen then looking to the outside again towards the next corner, and he doesn't get past. He's not quick enough to get alongside us. We're keeping a position at this stage. We're hoping to stay ahead of Kevin Magnussen, and it'll be a real important points for Sauber, because again, this will be the first time, if we've said it a few times now, this will be the first time both Saubers get good points together in the same race. If we can both get in the points, teammate finishing ahead of us, but that's because he's out-qualified us, and he's been a better driver of the two Sauber drivers around this track, around this weekend. And we're starting to actually pull a gap here from Kevin Magnussen, so it's looking in our favour at this stage. Bottas is looking closer to overtaking as well. So having Bottas and Magnussen behind us is something we've been used to in the last couple of races. Come around turn 2 and up to the DRS zone in this track, the main DRS zone. But now then, we're moving on to the last lap, and as you can see, P6. We're looking to keep P6. So our teammate is in P4 and ourselves are in P8. So that's going to be 20 points for the Sauber team. Kevin Magnussen's going to get 6 points for Haas. So in turn, we're gaining 14 points on the Haas team around this weekend. It's been a good race. We've gained 14 positions overall as well in the race, starting from the back, dead last, and coming now then onto the last lap in P6. With Vettel having problems and both the Mercedes having problems again, it's ideal for us to get into the points, take points out of Haas as well. Grosjean starting further back. So it's going to be an interesting end to the season then, between Sauber and Haas, to see who can come out on top. It'll be really a real big rivalry between Sauber and Haas as well. Force India and Renault look a bit further, too far ahead to catch, but McLaren look too far behind to catch us, and so do Williams and Toro Rosso as well. So Daniel Ricciardo is the race winner around this track. So Daniel Ricciardo winning from pole, which is what he failed to do in Hungary. But Red Bull showing some signs of looking good around here. So it'll be interesting to see how these regulation changes make effect for next season, who will be on top. Because Red Bull are starting to look like a strong team where they weren't at the start of the season. But coming now in to end the race in P6 with all the fireworks going off in the background. It's going to be 20 points for Sauber, so a great weekend for Sauber, and it's P6 and we're very happy with that. As we cross the line then, it's going to be a great result with Leclerc finishing 4th. 2 strong results in a row then for us, finishing in the points. We're starting to pick up a bit of form with... we could have had some good points in Belgium, so we've been really driving quite well recently, but obviously with that result in Belgium it could have been a lot better. But Christian Horner delighted with Red Bull's win, with Ricciardo winning. It'll be Ricciardo winning from, I think, Raikkonen and then Verstappen as well. So Red Bull getting a 1-3, 40 points for them in the title challenge. But they look a little bit further, too far behind to actually threaten Ferrari and Mercedes this season. But as you can see, Grosjean finishing outside the points, Vettel and Alonso at the back, and McLaren struggling with Van Dorn again. With Van Dorn just, I don't know. But we're up into P8, 50 points so far this season, and delighted with that. And we're actually now just 4 points behind Haas, so it's really close with just 6 races left this season. Be really close to see who's going to be coming out on top towards the end of the season. In fact, Force India aren't too far ahead either, so we could threaten Force India if we do well enough. But that's going to be the end of the episode there for the 15th round. Like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in round 16 for the Russian Grand Prix. Thank you guys.